Afghanistan in the 1960s, bikinis, luxury, and tourists. Afghanistan has always been fractured. Both internal conflict and foreign intervention were to blame. But at one point, it was on its way to modernization. In the 1950s and 1960s, it grew more westernized and liberal. Officially, the Kingdom of Afghanistan was neutral, but it was influenced by both the US and the Soviet Union. It accepted Soviet hardware and weapons and American money. This time was a brief but peaceful era. Modern buildings sprang up in Kabul. Burqas became optional, and women went to colleges. That time and place may well be Atlantis, forever lost. But thanks to one American photographer, we've got pictures. Afghanistan was a monarchy, but not a very conservative one. In the late 1920s, King Amanullah Khan sought modernization. He established co-ed schools for boys and girls. He overturned centuries-old traditions, getting rid of strict dress codes for women. King Amanullah increased trade with Europe and Asia. He even restricted his own rule by adopting a constitution. Queen Soraya Tarzi was also active in Afghani politics. She shaped the more permissive policies toward women. The king's successors continued the reforms. King Mohammad Zahir Shah asked the United States to bankroll them. Washington was wary of the country becoming pro-Moscow, so millions soon poured in from the West. The money helped finance infrastructure projects. Kabul was transformed. New highways and modern buildings were designed and built. New airports allowed foreign tourists to visit the country. Kabul University started accepting women. The king's successors continued his policies. By the 1960s, the fashion industry was booming. Safia Tarzi, a fashion designer from Kabul, was featured in Vogue. Afghanistan's economy was mostly based on mining and agriculture. But Afghani goatskin coats and sheer trousers became the biggest fashion export. They gained popularity around the world. Visitors were stunned by the country's contrasts. Ancient traditions coexisted with women in mini-skirts. The famous Kabul Gardens were a tourist marvel. The government provided new opportunities in education and healthcare. It was this vibrant nation that Bill Podlick captured in his photos. Podlick was an American professor who came to Afghanistan in 1967. He took numerous pictures of daily life in Kabul and elsewhere. The famous photos serve as a memento of a country that is no more. His daughter Peg Podlick says,
"If you look at photos of the devastation of Europe or Asia after World War II and compare them with what you see nowadays, you can get a similar feeling while looking at these photos from Afghanistan in the late 1960s. Perhaps looking at these old pictures when Afghanistan was a land of peace can encourage folks to see Afghanistan and its people as they were and could be."
Sadly, that peace was all too brief. A bloodless coup overthrew the monarchy in 1973. The new ruler was the king's own cousin and former prime minister, Mohammed Daoud Khan. He established a single-party Republic of Afghanistan. President Khan nationalized all banks and tried to reach out to Moscow. When it didn't work, he started purging communists. In 1978, he was assassinated by communist insurgents. There has been no peace in Afghanistan since then.